This is a special on the Niger Delta. I am Chukudi Okulubaja. Well, I have three guests in this edition of the program, and we have Ankyo Briggs, a spokesperson of IRA, that stands for Niger Republican Assembly, as well as ANDIS, that's United Niger Delta Energy Security Strategy. Ma'am, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thanks for coming indeed. Over there, Dr. Emmanuel Anolefo, President, Head of Research of Change Africa Network. Thank you for coming on this special.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
The other man is Onongia Erekosima, President, Niger Delta Nonviolent Movement. Thanks for coming as well.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, we should be smiling from ear to ear if good wishes would indeed translate into reality eventually. Yes, the President has said amnesty goes to any militant who gives up his weapon in exchange for being reintegrated in society. Anolefo.
That's an interesting one. And I remember I did say that in our last discussion on this issue, that I think the government will do that once there is a genuine desire or willingness on the part of the militants to down arms. But I did doubt that whether the militants will actually take this chance. We hope they do, but I doubt if they will do, because what is involved in all of these things has gone beyond ethnic factor. I think there are a lot of criminal elements in it, but I just hope they will seize this opportunity and be reintegrated into the Nigerian system. It will be good for them, it will be good for Nigeria.
Ankyo?
Well, I mean, the declaration of amnesty for people who are seen by the majority of Niger Delta people as being freedom fighters is one thing. Declaring amnesty, a blanket amnesty, and then saying everybody, a criminal, bank robbers, rapists, all kinds of illegal activities are also covered by this amnesty. We don't see, for instance, MEND is not regarded or seen by the people in Niger Delta, at least the people I'm interacting with, as being criminals. Now, but if you say you're giving amnesty to people, amnesty is given to people who really have been convicted along the line of a crime, like in the past. Obasanjo was given a pardon. So many other people were given amnesties and pardon, like the chap who, the deputy speaker or whatever, some time ago, that had a problem with his certifications and all that. He was given a pardon. You know, so if you're looking at giving pardon to militants, who are militants, you know, we're putting the cart before the horse. Declaring amnesty for people in a PDP convention is not, are we talking, is this a PDP issue? You know, so there are ways, set down ways of going about amnesty and discussing with the people who are supposed to be getting amnesty. You're holding people like Henry Oka. The people like Asari Dokubo were arrested at the time when amnesty was actually in place for Asari Dokubo. Asari Dokubo today is actually out on bail. So you can see the problem that the people in the creeks are going to have, you know, and calling them boys. These are men, and these are men that are capable of thinking for themselves and expressing their positions. There is criminality, yes, all over in Nigeria. The real criminals are the so-called politicians. The real criminals are the so-called leaders, are the so-called people who say they are representing the people. The governors who are not using the money that is meant to develop the area, that is using it to pay for security services of the JTF. This is criminality. The people who are saying, look, we're talking about our resources. We're talking about development of the area. We're talking about development for the people. These people are not criminals. You must disassociate criminality from the people that are talking on behalf of themselves in the Niger Delta.
Great. You're spoken truly like the spokesperson you are for the Niger Republican Assembly. But the question is this really for you now. Does the gesture of amnesty truly provide a platform for a begin again scenario?
Well, I will start by thanking Mr. President, because my Bible tells me whether in truth or in pretense, the important thing is that the word of God should be preached. If he has brought up this issue of amnesty, when I started this amnesty team, people thought I was mad. They said you can't get amnesty. I'm happy that I'm alive today hearing from the presidency that amnesty is coming. But I want to point out very clear that we have to spell out what we're asking for as in amnesty. Why the amnesty? Why are we asking for amnesty? Before this time, these boys we call criminals, militant and others have said they don't need amnesty. They said that because none of them were looked for. Nobody was looking for them. Nobody is looking for them. So they don't want amnesty. So why did we say amnesty? We said amnesty because we saw a danger that will cripple a generation of people. We're saying amnesty because we wanted to use amnesty to remove the gun from our society. We discovered that this thing called gun, armed struggle, came and is destroying us so mightily. So we said, whether you wanted amnesty or not, the issue is you're carrying an illegal thing in your hand. And that thing must be dropped because it has become a threat to this generation. So I raised up the topic of amnesty. And everybody was mad at me. Sir, why would you tell Ijaw people to go and drop their gun? If they drop their gun, Nigerians will kill them. And I told them the world is civilized. That words now speak louder than these actions of guns. So we must plan and bring out these guns. Otherwise, it will cripple our generation. The amnesty is not particular to our people. Let me tell you one clear thing. Because nobody is looking for our people except this recent government that is coming up now and marking some people and declaring them wanted. These boys are all over the streets. They are all over the town. They are everywhere. So they are not asking for amnesty. But we have to ask for amnesty because it is dangerous to keep this thing called gun with us when it is not licensed. So I need us to be very focused about this amnesty because people seem to be coming from different places to approach this issue. Whether you're a criminal, whether you're a kidnapper, whether you're an hostage taker, whether you're in the struggle. We have told them because the struggle that we sense that is a struggle has been hijacked. For this reason, we cannot tell who and who is in the struggle. So please, even the struggle gone, we are bringing it out. If you think it's a struggle, then Ijaw people should protect their gun. But we are saying these things will never help us again. There is no time when these people will come out to represent us and not for their own self. There won't be any time in history. So the gun is evil and we must remove the gun. That's why we're asking for amnesty. So we should not be misunderstood about this amnesty and struggle. The struggle, we are saying the world is civilized, the world listens, the world will hear us when we talk. Let our elders go and talk. They have been to Abuja, they have been to England, they have been to London. They know what development means. And the Bible now says, let the old men dream dreams, and let the young men prophesy. We are saying our young men, our prophesying should not be through gun. We want to go back to the root, where our elders can say, this is what I saw in Abuja, I want it in Niger Delta. And gun will not do us that talking. So we are saying, the first thing we're asking for in amnesty is because we want to remove something that seems to be danger to our generation. If we don't do it now, our children, the next generation, will never forgive us because they would not be able to do it. Nigeria is talking about rebranding. It is wrong. When you say rebranding, you are giving man the glory. It is a generational change.
Okay, let's engage Emmanuel at this point. Ankyo pointed out that the money that should go into developing the people is going into funding JTF operations. Yes. If you were Mr. President, hostage taking is the order of the day. Blowing up of oil installations is rampant. Would you not fund a force
I think
to institute law and order?
I think Madam is getting this whole thing wrong. The issue, Nigeria is a country that has history. Nigeria is a country that was negotiated. Nigeria wasn't an imposition on anybody. There was an agreement for this Nigeria to come to be. And then over time, A lot of things has happened. A lot of people has committed. A lot of people have committed their blood to maintain this Nigeria until it gets to this point. Now, if for any reason any section is offended, yes, there are civilized way of making that thing. I don't think that there should be a redefinition of criminals, of what do you call it, of men and all of that. That classification should not come into the context of what do you call it, the context of amnesty. The issue is there's a problem, and we all know there's a problem, and there's no need making that legal classification. What is happening in the Niger Delta is wrong. Those who are fighting, freedom fighters, I'm sure right inside their mind they know the things they are doing is not right, and I am not sure that they are enjoying the support of the majority of the people in the South. If they are, there won't be an election. Some people voted for some people to represent them. These people should be.
That indicates a division of sorts.
Yes, that's the point. A lot of people, so they are not actually, they are not standing for the opinion of the majority. There is no way you can make that. A lot of people may not be willing to come out and say, look, we don't support this thing, because not because they believe in what they are doing, but because they are afraid of them. We know that kind of thing. We have had that kind of politics in the Southwest and all of that. But at the end of the day, we know what the true position is. The truth is that the government has said they are giving them amnesty, and I think it's an opportunity that they should cash in on and come in. Anybody who is saying that the government shouldn't have deployed the military is not being honest to himself or herself. Because if the government did not deploy the troop there, perhaps those boys would have taken over the South. And I'm not sure, those who have not experienced this type of thing think it's just as easy. We have had the Biafran experience. I'm not sure that most of those who are in the Biafran would have been happy to remain in that situation. A lot of people thought that being in the Nigerian camp would have been a better option for them than being in the Biafran camp.
We can see shots now of the boys in the bush there.
Yeah,
and in terms of
so what I'm saying,
okay, good. We're talking about a sex now, not really not about their ages. Okay, let's call them men if that makes Ankyo happy.
No, it doesn't matter.
The point being made here is
whether
that
they are men or
the
boys
kind
is
of
important.
array of weapons you see there would not spell law and order. And anyone who says he is presiding over a sovereign would not want this kind of situation to
possible.
Now,
It's
I need to
you
correct-
understand what
Yes.
he might say?
Yes,
Please,
I
ma'am.
need to correct something. I don't ever want to find myself in a position where we're discussing very serious issue. For me,
Yes.
I am an Ijaw person.
Okay.
And Ijaw issues and Niger Delta issues broadly is a very serious matter for me. It's a very passionate thing for me.
Should be.
It is, I have not by any imagination gotten anything about Niger Delta or Ijaw issues wrong. There is no time people sat down in this country before independence and negotiated Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that has been imposed on so-called ethnic groups that have made up Nigeria. At no time did the Ijaw people in my history sit down with any other ethnic group and agreed to a country called Nigeria. So now that I have laid that to rest, the thing about the armed struggle in Nigeria, in the Niger Delta in Nigeria, arms came into the Niger Delta not because Ijaw people got up one day and said, we're going to go into armed struggle. No. Politicians brought arms in 1999 and handed it over to people in the Niger Delta, particularly in the Ijaw territories. And it led eventually to the people holding the arms realizing that we could use this position to make our voices heard on the issues of devastation, oil devastation, on the issues of non-development, on the issues of injustice. So it is not, in my view, it is not true that the struggle has been taken over by criminality. The struggle is born out of criminality.
Can a criminal ever become a true nationalist?
The struggle...
Can a criminal...
Excuse me.
If they allow the politicians to give them guns, they loan themselves to criminality. Can they suddenly get reformed?
A criminal is somebody. He comes from somewhere.
Yes.
He's either, whatever ethnic group he comes from, he's a human being that has decided to be a criminal. As I said earlier on, the real criminals are the people who call themselves leaders and politicians in this country. that are stealing the resources of the people, that are not using the funds for what they are meant to be. That is the problem Nigeria is facing today.